shit. I better stop. We better stop doing that. People are going to get the wrong impression about this podcast. So listen, folks. Well, listen, look, we have got a tense-filled episode for you on this week's show because we're going to be speaking about a movie which has just recently dropped on Netflix called The Deliverance. So we're speaking about that. It's a horror movie. And if we've got time, Devout, I put in another movie on there.
Yeah,
if we've got time. Called The Instigators, which is kind of a 360 on the whole kind of genre there. But listen, folks, we've got a great show for you. It's always a great show for you. So we've got the usual movie news, streaming, trailers, main film review. But before all of that, Deval, shout outs, come on.
Yep, going for shout out today goes to I'm Mo Kamel. And he's on Instagram. Go check him out. Actor, writer, producer, and all of that. So go check him out on Instagram. Loves his movies, loves his shows. Obviously he does because he doesn't just watch them, but he's in them.
Exactly.
We did an interview with him a few months ago. Indiana Jones. What else? He was in
The Crown.
The Crown, of course, on Netflix, and there's a few other things he's been in and he's going to be in that we can't talk about. But watch this space.
Watch his space.
Mo Kamel, yes, big shout out to him.
Yeah, and Mo, if you want to get back on the show again, just let us know and we will be there. All right, let's get into movie news now. It's so funny you should mention this, Devout. I was chatting to someone about this just very, very recently. Now, this movie, Wolf Creek, I remember I went to the cinema to watch it. It's a nasty movie. And it's just like, the reason why it's so nasty is because, you know, one thing that you got to realize about horror, there's the monster horror where you see like a demon or a monster. There's all that sort of stuff, but there's also the kind of the psychological horror as well, the kind of the unseen horrors that are out there. And Australia being the massive country that it is, the outback, the bush, you got this landscape that is kind of uncharted, untamed. Anything can happen there. And this Wolf Creek kind of movies take place in there, and the kind of, who knows what kind of crazy people are out there. So I remember watching Wolf Creek, Deval, kind of inspired by kind of like true events and things like that. And then what was the whole thing with the second one? I can't remember, man.
The second one?
Yeah, like as in it's going to be like a second one, right?
Yeah, that's what this is. Yeah, so it's going to be a second one. I'm not sure. I think that one of the main actors in the first one is going to be in it. I think the actual Wolf Creek person is going to be in this one. But yeah, the first one happened in 2005, the first film. So that's nearly 20 years ago, pretty much. And yeah, this one is going to be just as sick, I think.
Yeah.
From what I understand. So was this the third one? Am I getting mixed up? But yeah, this sequel, but basically, from what I understand, because this story is actually... We don't want to paint it too sick because this is the family show. We know you all sit there with your families,
exactly.
But yeah, some of the tortures and so on that happen in this story, I think are going to be portrayed in this coming up sequel, and they say it's going to be really, really disturbing. So yeah, like teacher said, when you're out in the outback and no one can hear you scream, it's worse than Alien being in space almost.
It's true. And it's kind of like Deval, those movies where kind of like the friends are like, hey, let's go on backpacking trip around the world, and like they take a wrong turn and then they get stuck and they meet the kind of the person that you never want to meet. This is that kind of universe, man. Exactly. So has that ever happened with you, where you've been off the beaten track and you've met some weirdos? Has that ever happened to you?
I meet weirdos on the beaten track, mate. It's just, man.
London is one weirdo track.
Anything can happen. Yeah. This one should have some good pedigree with it.
Yeah.
Producers of Resident Evil and also the Babadook, which is a big Australian horror film.
Psychological horror film as well.
Yeah, producers from there are going to be on this one, so hopefully that'll make it good as well. So we'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Brilliant. All right. Okay. Let's move on to movie news. I want to speak about this one. So Blade Runner. So we had Blade Runner from back in the day, Ridley Scott, 80s. He kind of had this whole, sci-fi vibe that was going on back in the 80s. And then very recently we had a kind of sequel to that, which was Blade Runner 2049, which was the Ryan Gosling and Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford came back. And now the news here is that Blade Runner 2099 is going to be coming pretty soon. And do you remember very recently we watched Furiosa, and remember the Mad Max type of a character, that guy? His name was Tom Burke. He was kind of like the Mel Gibson version. So apparently he's going to be in this new Blade Runner 2099. He's a British actor, I think.
Okay.
I think he's a British actor. Michelle Yeoh is going to be in it.
Okay.
And it's going to be set 50 years after Denis Villeneuve's 2049, 80 years set 80 years after the original one, which is kind of crazy. So so Yeoh will play Olwen, who's a replicant nearing the end of her life, and she's basically going through, I guess, the same kind of questions that Harrison Ford had. Am I a replicant? Am I a human? Or what am I? And, these kind of asking those fundamental questions. And Deval, imagine now with the whole question of AI, is there a possibility in the years to come, AI, can it become sentient? Will AI have feelings of its own? That's kind of like, one of these
That's
big
a big
questions.
question. That's a question, a question that scares many of these tech giants, because they're saying that that's something that could be possible, if not already possible.
Yeah.
If that happens, that's where Skynet could be the next step, where
Exactly.
computers realize that humans are actually a blight. They're actually like a stain on the earth, and
Love
humans are
it.
the ones that need to go. That's
Yeah.
what could happen. So
When the AI turns around and says humans are stupid, like they're going to
yeah.
end up killing the world, and like that's
And
when
the
you
thing
know.
is, they're actually right.
Yeah,
They're right. When
because
you look at what we do, like
I
why?
know.
Who would think? Oh yeah, they should stay. No,
Mm.
even look at Thanos. Anyway,
Oh
I'm going down
gosh.
a rabbit hole, but it's true. Like when
Yeah.
we look really look at humans in history now and the future,
Mm.
why wouldn't a robot think we're pointless?
Exactly. So keep it locked. Wait for the Armageddon, folks, and we'll see what happens. Now, this one, talking about Armageddon. So this is Deval. I don't know where you stand on the whole Jurassic World thing. I think I'm over it now. Like, like a post Jurassic World kind of, Hollywood type of a thing. But Jurassic World Rebirth, the 7th film in the 31-year-old franchise, Devaldo. 31 years of movies. So we've got casting: Scarlett Johansson, Jonathan Bailey, and Mahershala Ali. Directed by Gareth Edwards. Okay, so Rogue Star One, the creator. It's going to be written by David Coep, who wrote the original Jurassic Park, released in 1993. So the official summary on this is the film will be set 5 years following the events of Jurassic World Dominion, when the planet's ecology has proven largely inhospitable to dinosaurs. So I'm guessing dinosaurs are going to start to become extinct again. There's going to be a few remnants, and humans are going to be kind of using the dinosaurs to kind of survive.
Why is it called Rebirth then? It should be called the
Like
Downfall. We had the Fallen. They're fallen now.
so Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, then it was the
Yeah.
Dominion, and now it's Rebirth. So maybe Rebirth of the Humans. I don't know.
But you know what, Gareth Edwards, we know what he can do.
Yes.
Look at his
Yep.
early films, Monsters. Remember Monsters from
Oh man,
2010, where he
great
directed,
movie.
done the special effects himself, pretty much. He's good with doing special effects. Obviously, now he's got a bigger budget, and he's going to have people doing it for him. But
Yeah.
he knows what to do when it comes to sort of that kind of, special effects, monsters kind of film. So I think
Yeah.
it should be all right. Hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. And they've released kind of like a few other plot details. Johansson's character, she plays a covert ops named Zora. who's been hired to lead.
Through Romanov, yeah.
Yeah. So she's been hired to lead the team extracting DNA from the three most gargantuan dinosaur species left alive. And Mahershala
Mm,
Ali plays Zora's partner, uh, Duncan Kincaid, and you've got like kind of a few other people in there. Ed Skrein, who was in Deadpool,
mm,
he's going to be in it as well. And so I'm assuming Deval, three massive dinosaurs. There's going to be action,
mm.
Scarlett Johansson's going to be the lead, obviously. She's a big, obviously Hollywood actor. So yeah, expect the usual, really.
Yeah, I mean, this is out next year. We're getting it soon. I thought we were going to get a big
Yeah,
break from dinosaurs, but it looks like the money's too good to turn down. So,
exactly. So
mm,
we know the name now. So Jurassic World Rebirth. So if that tickles
mm,
your fancy, go check it out. All right, let's move on to streaming now. Devout, I'm hearing a lot of good stuff about this. I still haven't seen this yet. This has just been recently released. This is on Netflix. This is called Chaos.
mm.
And we mentioned it, I think, on last week's episode. We saw the trailer and everything, and it looked kind of like a bit of a mad one. Jeff Goldblum, he plays like a Greek god. Is it
Mm.
Zeus that he's playing?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he plays Zeus set in the modern times where he's had enough, and the people, they stop believing in the gods, or they're angry against the gods, and which is a story ripped from the kind of the Greek mythology,
Oh,
where
yeah.
the humans were kind of angry with the gods, and to
Hmm.
show the humans like a lesson, we see the fury of the gods and all that sort of stuff. But man, have you seen any of it? Have you caught any of it?
Haven't seen any of it yet, but I'm definitely going to watch it because this
Mm,
seems interesting. Like you mentioned, this, but it's set in modern times. I think it's like LA or California,
yeah,
uh, and uh, and yeah, it just looks interesting. Jeff Goldblum looks like he's playing Jeff Goldblum,
yeah,
charismatic, kind of a obnoxious kind of god, very witty. You got Prometheus, who gave fire to mankind. You got
yep,
Hera. You got Poseidon. You got Hades. The name just roll off the tongue. Dionysus. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean?
Wicked.
Dionysus,
Dionysus.
Hippolyta. You got all these. Yeah. So do you know what? Medusa is going to be in it. It's going to
Wow.
be interesting. I'm going to watch it just to
I'm
see
gonna
how
watch it.
they
Yeah.
put this, modern spin on old Greek mythology.
Yeah, that looks good. So go check that one out. And also out on Netflix, I mean, they're on a bit of a roll. I've actually seen the first episode for this one. This is called Terminator Zero. So let's
Oh.
go back. So Deval, this is a new like a retelling of the whole Terminator story that we know. And you know what? I've got to say, look, it's only been one episode that I've seen. The episodes are only about 30 minutes long,
Mm-hmm.
and it's created by this guy. He's had a bit of an interesting career. I've reading up a bit about him. It's created by this guy called Matson Tomlin, and he was behind uh, Project Power. Do you remember that Netflix movie starring
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx?
Yeah. Where they had like special powers and stuff with the
Special
pills.
Powers and
Or,
stuff like that. So he
yeah.
directed that one. And check this out. I didn't even know this. He wrote, but wasn't credited with the Batman.
Is it? Why not
Yes,
credited?
because I think what happened was he came to it at a late stage, and because of the
Oh, I
Screen
see. Like a
Actors
rewrite
Guild,
or something. Oh.
and because of the Screen Actors Guild thing, he wasn't going to get credit for it. But he's
Mm,
been tapped by Matt Reeves to
mm,
write the second Batman story. So
mm,
he's behind this Terminator Zero. So it's set in Japan. So it's set in 1997 and 2022, and it focuses on these three siblings in
mm,
Japan, and their dad works for Skynet, who's he's been having visions of kind of the end of the world, which we're all used to. We know. Remember Sarah Connor,
yeah.
she kind of knows about kind of the future and about kind of Skynet is going
Hmm.
to cause the end of the world. So he's trying to stop AI from becoming sentient and creating the end of the world. And then we have a traveler who goes back in time to save him or to protect him from him dying. So we
Mm,
know the story. It's just set in a different kind of time frame and set in a different country, set in Japan. I mean, the graphics are really great, and the kind of the
mm.
Japanese animation, manga animation, that style. It's only been one episode, but I'm gonna give it a bit more. But this has already got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Is it?
Yeah, so people are raving about it.
Ah.
All the episodes are out there. I'm going to give it
This
a
is on
go.
Netflix, is it?
This is on Netflix, so I reckon it's worth a watch, man.
Okay.
So go check it out if you love your sci-fi, if you love your animation. Let's do this. All right, let's move on, Deval. What we're doing next? We are doing trailers.
Yeah, trailers. So there's a couple of trailers we're going to talk about today. The first one is Terrifier 3.
Oh shit!
Have you seen Terrifier before?
Mate, I've seen it, and I think we spoke about it. The gore count, the blood, the deaths in this are just on another level. If you haven't seen it, go check it out.
Terrifier is just, it's a mad film. The first film was like what do they call it? Video nasty, is that the right word?
Kind of
just like a proper like B film, or I don't know, just not
old school, like
like a
back to
videotape.
basics. Like the
straight to
kills
video.
are just unbelievable.
Yeah, all like practical effects and stuff like that. Low budget, low budget. And then people just caught onto it. People liked it. Second one was made. Okay, people liked it, and now they've got a third one. So I reckon this will
the budget, right? The budgets are going to probably get more
slowly increase. Yeah, which sometimes isn't always the best thing, because sometimes the early stage, because they haven't got a big budget, they've got to be creative, and sometimes that adds to the film. But anyway, this one looks like more the same. So you know what? The thing about this Terrifier is about, if you don't know, a killer clown. Who goes around killing people and just has fun doing it. Like, it's nasty. The deaths are graphic, in your face, disgusting. But he just goes around killing people, and you don't know who this clown is. Doesn't talk. There's no history of who this clown is, and the clown does have some sort of, I don't know if I can call it like a Michael Myers type of, I don't know, ability or something. For some reason, it just doesn't want to. It doesn't want to die or something. I don't know. It's weird anyway. But yeah, this is a weird film. It's just a weird film. Yeah.
It's funny because the budget for the first one was about $35,000.
Are you serious? No, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that.
$35,000 to $55,000, right?
Don't say that. Don't say that.
And then the budget.
That's really good. You know that.
Exactly. So the budget for the second one was $250,000, and it made under 16 million.
Is it? That's big returns, you know.
Massive. And that was just came out in 2022. So I mean, like, you know, obviously there's people have an appetite for these kind of these movies, right?
35,000.
Can you believe it? So 35. And the budget, the budget for this Terrifier 3, according to Wikipedia,
5 million,
is 2 million.
2 million.
So, man, you know what I'm saying? So they've done really, really well. So whoever's behind these movies, they're putting more money into it.
That sounds like a lot of money to an average Joe, but that's still nothing in movie terms. Yeah.
That's like one episode of like a TV show or something.
Thank you. Yeah.
Like, do you get what I'm saying? So go check those out. Terrifier 3. Now, the other one, I haven't heard of this one or seen this one, but this is called Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story. Oh, the Menendez brothers. Yes. Okay, now I know. Right. Okay. This was massive news in the 90s. Was it 90s?
I think you're right. Yeah. I think it was right. I think it was 90s.
Yeah.
I think it was 90s. Yeah.
So what's this on? Is this on Netflix?
This is on Netflix. Yeah. So this is going to be a series. And if you haven't heard of the Menendez brothers, they are rich, come from a rich family, the Menendez family, and they killed both parents, wasn't it?
Yeah, and their life in prison.
Yeah, so they went on trial for killing their parents. You know, it was alleged that they had conspired, and they wanted to have the money, basically. You know, did it for the money, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, the trial was massive.
Huge,
there was also,
I remember.
I think they'd done a show. You know, they'd done a show on the O.J. Simpson.
Oh, right.
O.J. Simpson. A modern murder
mystery or something.
Yeah, they've done a show on the Menendez ones as well. And it's always interesting, man. It's interesting. So yeah, this, I think, give it a watch when it comes out.
Yeah, man. I love it. Soon. But listen, they've got life in prison without the possibility of parole, so they're gonna just live and die in prison.
Mate, yeah, it's mad. America doesn't mess around. In England, they probably would have just done 25 years and come out. maybe
out again
less.
because they've got no space.
Mm.
All right, so listen, yeah, go check those out. Go check out the trailers and go check out those movies. And if you do watch them or those shows, let us know what you think, and we
No
will shout
space.
you out. There's no space, man. Seriously. So listen,
People,
let's move on
we're
to
gonna get. If you say that too loud, we're gonna get crime tourism. People are gonna be coming here committing crime, thinking, "Oh, there's no space in
there's
there.
no space here.
I won't get too long."
Shit. All right. I'll edit that out.
Imagine.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's move on to Anniversary Corner. Now, listen, this is, I think this movie, was it this one or one of the Exorcist franchises? There was kind of one that was really kind of, people were like, they hated it. It didn't do well at the box office. It didn't do well critically. It didn't do well commercially. I can't remember if it's this one, but this is
It's
called
free.
Exorcist. Oh, is it?
I think it's part 3. I think that did
Part
that. I
3.
think that was a good one
Yeah.
though. I like that
So
one.
this is a remake of going back now. No, is this, what is it? A prequel? This one. This is called Exorcist: The Beginning.
Yeah, it's a prequel. So this one, this is based in 1947.
Okay.
So it's a prequel to the first one.
Right.
It kind of shows a little bit about where the demon or the spirit came from at the beginnings of where they found it. Because I think even we spoke about it a while ago, and you said in The Exorcist, like it just started, it just began. But this one shows where they got the artifact from and stuff like that, and where it kind of began. So yeah, an interesting take again on possession, which is something that many religions and faiths backgrounds and just cultures maybe speak about, and they've done it a lot with Christianity, with possession and stuff like that. And in this one, it does speak about it and it deals with it, and shows that it's these faiths believe that this is a thing. This is a thing.
Exactly.
And the funny thing is, I was watching a true crime documentary the other day, and I just tell a story real quickly, and this is actually in Brent. So in the borough of Brent, where I grew up, a lady, she's in her mid 40s, I think, or mid 40s or late 30s. She went to a top university, straight A's, all that kind of stuff. Worked as an osteopath. Basically, she had some issues in her life. She had a rich family. She came from a rich family. Lived in lived in an expensive home that her mum owned, totally owned, worth £4 million at the time, mortgage free. But she wanted to do some maintenance to the house. She befriended another lady who was also really rich, had mental health issues, and she convinced that lady to give her money to fix her house. The lady said yes. She'd give her £250,000 to fix her house,
which is a lot.
Then she changed her mind and said, "No, I don't want to do it."
Yeah,
fair enough. She basically killed her. She killed her. She was alone in the house. She killed her, decapitated her, put her in suitcases, and went and disposed of her. Long story short, she got caught. But they were talking about her backstory, saying that when she was really successful, then had a breakdown. She went to Australia, came back to England, and then she joined the church. People said that before she even joined the church, there were certain times where, like her ex-boyfriend said, there were certain times where he wouldn't recognize her. Sometimes she'd just be sitting there, like just like staring into space, and he'd be like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" She's like, "Oh, nothing." Like there were certain times when it looked like she was not herself. Is what I'm saying to you. It looked like, and she went to the church, and she said to the church herself, "I need deliverance."
Oh my God.
She said to the church herself, "I need deliverance. There's a spirit inside me." And then she started going to the church, and she said that the pastor put his hand on her. She was shaking, screaming so much that the regular churchgoers
had to
they fled. They were shitting themselves.
Yes.
So this is what happened in amongst before she'd done that crime.
Yeah. So there's
when you start thinking of, it's like, it's a madness. But you could think it's a movie. You could like, this is real shit. That
exactly. I know. And you know what, right? So I'm so glad, Deval, that you kind of set it up like that. So let's pass on Exorcist and let's speak about this one, because the next movie that we're going to be speaking about, the main movie that we're going to speak about, is called The Deliverance. This is a brand new movie on Netflix. And Deval, so many of the things that you've just said, they happen in this movie, and it's inspired. Now here you go again. Look, it's inspired by real, true events. And here's the thing: after I watched this movie, I didn't want to read up on the actual real events. I thought, you know what? I don't want to read up about it. There's enough in that movie for me to kind of get an idea of what basically happened. And what you just said now is enough for me to be like, there's this shit in the universe, in this world, that we don't know about, and it can latch itself onto things we don't want to know about it. So listen, look, folks, if horror isn't your genre, then you're probably going to switch off. But I will say to you this: if you're a fan of movies, if you're a fan of cinema, you should 100% go and watch this movie, because a few months ago, probably like about 6 months ago, or was it last year? I don't know. Deval and I, we reviewed The Exorcist, the remake or whatever, the reboot of the whole Exorcist thing. And Deval and I, we were kind of like, yeah, you know what, we've got kind of great, hope for the movie and everything. And for me, it was a letdown. This movie is the movie I reckon that The Exorcist should have been, because it's got all the elements in this movie, which I thought the Exorcist. Honestly, Deval, whilst I was watching this movie, I was like, holy shit, where is this going? Where is it going? The setup is this: a family, they leave Philly to move into a new town. There's 3 siblings, and the mum, they're working class background, black family. And they're struggling. Basically, they don't have a lot of money. The mum has had personal issues. The dad's off in Iraq. It's set in 2011. The dad's off in Iraq. Mum is kind of looking after the kids by herself. She's got an alcohol problem. It's been hinted at before, like as you watch the movie, that she's gone off the rails a little bit. She's living with the 3 kids, and crucially, she's living with their grandma, so the mum. And her mum, her mum is played by Glenn Close. So first of all, when I saw this, I was like, what? Hang on a second. Glenn Close is the mum. They don't explain, that she's got a white mum or like whatever. Her mum's white. All right.
But she does seem like she's been around black people for a long time, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? She
speaks, the way that she dresses.
There's a certain vibe that she's got that just tells you she's comfortable in that environment, and she's kind of like evolved, or not evolved, but just like, she's just adapted to that environment, I should say.
Exactly. And for me, I thought, hands off to Glenn Close. Like, she's an Oscar winner, and, she's put herself into this role, and she kind of really gets into it and everything. So this family tight, I say tight knit, but there's issues. The family have got issues. The mum's got anger issues. She just flies off the handle. The kids are scared of her.
And stuff at the dinner table. There's a scene where they're at the dinner table, and the mum sort of disrespects her daughter's. The Glenn Close's character disrespects her daughter's food. The mum of the kids and stuff, and they start swearing at each other, and it's just like, I'm like, huh? What's going on?
Exactly.
Never.
So this type of environment is raw, it's gritty. And then remember the question that I put to you, which was weeks ago, whatever, is like, where does evil enter into, like, when people are maybe at the lowest,
yes,
when people are at the weakest, this is where kind of, the evil kind of enters into the, into the frame. So they moved to this new house, and then I will say this, it's got the usual tropes. It's got the smelly house. It's got the flies. It's got the banging noises. You hear the kind of the banging in the night, and you've got, like, the usual stuff that you get in these types of movies, right? It's got that. So nothing new over there. But there was something about it that made it uncomfortable. And what it was uncomfortable was the relationship developed with the mum and the kids. The fact that she would basically tell them to F off. The fact that she would, like, be disciplined. And for me, that made it real, because there are families who live like that.
Yep.
They never sugar-coated the reality of this family. The kids being bullied at school. You know, the one of the, you know, the girl, she doesn't have enough money to have an iPhone, and like you know, there's all this stuff going on. The mum going out and getting drunk and coming home and leaving the kids all alone.
Substance misuse. Even the story about the dad being in Iraq, I thought to myself, is he, or is it just a thing that he left, or they split up and she doesn't want to say where he really is, or something? I wasn't too sure, but he might have been there, but I don't know. I mean,
who knows? Yeah, exactly. So there's a kind of lot of like, you know, broken, like, you know, the family broken down in some sort of places. You know, clearly you can see the mum loves the kids, and then we kind of start to get this kind of the craziness going, the kind of the weirdness, the kid going into the basement by himself, you know, him talking, and the mum is trying to deal with her own personal demons, like the kind of, you know, not having the money, not being able to pay for the bills, the rent is due, you know, the alcoholism, and you know, if that's the kind of thing as well. But then literally there are the demons, you know, in the house. And then, you know, there's a shocking moment, Deval, so spoiler alert over here, where the kids, they go crazy, they go off the rails. The kids go off the rails. There's a scene where one of the kid from Stranger Things, he's in it.
Things, yeah.
Tries to kill the younger boy, like in the water, strangling him. I thought that was like mad.
Yeah,
that was the mad thing.
Drown him.
And then the other one was the boy, Andre. Man, he just like goes for a shit in the classroom.
That was the maddest scene, because all three of the kids, there's the youngest boy looks about, I don't know, 10 or something.
10 or something like that.
The guy from Stranger Things, I don't know how old he's meant to be. I don't know how old
15, 16 or whatever.
Yeah, is the daughter older than him or not? I don't know. They got a daughter who seems like she's similar. They seem like twins to me, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's a scene where simultaneously they're all in like class or whatever, and they're all going mad at similar times. So the daughter, she starts to have her period in like music practice.
Yeah.
And it's like a weird thing where she tells the teacher and everyone runs away. I don't know why they do that anyway, but and then the Stranger Things boy, what happens to him? He
starts laughing.
Yeah, he's in class and he starts laughing because they're telling a story about people that have suffered with AIDS and stuff and passed away, and he starts laughing uncontrollably.
He can't control himself.
Yeah, the young boy, the worst. When I saw that scene, I was laughing. The teacher's teaching, and he says, "I need to go to the toilet," and I don't know why she doesn't let him go or something, but while he's in class, he just starts pulling down his pants, and you think, no, he's going to do number 1, number 2. And then you don't see him do it, but he obviously does it, and all the kids go, and the teacher turns around and says, "What are you doing?" He just goes like that. And he throws well, because what he throws all hits her in her face, and she goes, and it's all shit.
Please,
it's all shit on her face. I'm like, why are you opening your mouth and screaming? I'll be like,
I'm closing my mouth. I'll be running. Oh my
nasty.
But it's that kind of breakdown in mentalness. I'm laughing to the same reaction. Like, honestly, I was shocked, and I had my mouth open. I was like, what? And then it just makes you think, though. Imagine if you were possessed, like, you know, someone was controlling your mind, will get you to do all that sort of stuff, will make you bend your mind and like do all that sort of stuff, right? So the kids, they go off on a mad one. Now, the only thing that I thought that they didn't need to do, and it's the one thing that they do every single time now in these possession type movies, they do this one thing, Deval. They go to the doctors. The doctors run the tests, and they say, "Oh, like, you know, your kids are like, you know, there's nothing wrong with your kids and everything," and blah blah blah. And the mum's like, "What are you talking about? You know, my kid just threw shit at the teacher, and you know, and all this sort of stuff."
And he ate his own shit too,
right? So, you know, and then there's the obligatory scene where the kid's in restraint. Deval, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Why they had to include this scene in there? It just made it look. You know what? I would have preferred if they didn't do that. They didn't do the whole thing, him climbing up the wall.
Yeah, and the way it looks very slick in a way, but still it was
Yes.
special effects. But
Yeah.
he's in restraints. He somehow pops out of it, jumps on the floor, and then
That's
jumps on the wall
Spider-Man.
backwards. And the lady, there's a lady called Monique, who's like a big American comedian stroke
Yeah, yeah.
actress.
She's the
She's like
social
the
worker.
social worker. She's in the room and witnesses this. Yeah, she witnesses this in the room, and I think maybe a couple of the sort of hospital staff witness it. And after that, I'm thinking, okay, now they're on her side. Now they're
Yeah.
on the mum's side. They've seen it, and now the film's going to change. They're all going to support her. But
Yeah.
it doesn't really, like, if I
No.
saw someone climb up a wall backwards, I'm running. I'm like, this is what I saw, like, you know. But she's very calm with the doctor. I just saw the boy walk backwards. What are you going
Yeah.
to do about that? It's
Exactly.
just,
It
yeah,
was, I know exactly. So that whole, it has those kind of those tropey moments, and like, you know, the reaction from people wouldn't be as calm, like exactly what Deval's saying. It
yeah,
wouldn't be as
yeah,
calm as that. You would be freaking your head out because you've just witnessed something,
yeah,
you know, whatever, right?
yeah.
And so and then afterwards, and then they do the thing, and this reminded me of The Exorcist, just the recent one that we
Mm,
saw kind of this year and everything like that, where, you know, they go to the pastor, they go to the priest, or the priest kind of been following them and is like, listen, look, let me tell you the story about that house, and, you know, gives the whole kind
mm,
of history about the whole house and everything. And then in the final third, then you have the kind of the good overcoming the evil type of a thing.
mm,
And
mm,
you know, so there's the scene from The Exorcist where Father Merrin, he tries to do The Exorcist and then he dies, and then they've got the equivalent over here where they bring someone in, they do the kind of the deliverance, but then
mm.
she dies because the evil is too powerful, and then the mum has to have faith. She has, but I tell you one thing though, I did like the fact that when she did, she was, do you know what language she was speaking? What it was?
They're speaking in tongues or something.
No, the mum.
Oh, Glenn Close.
No, sorry,
Like your mum. At your
the actual
mum.
mum,
I
when
think she was
she's
speaking in
actually getting the
tongues.
power. But
She,
wasn't she
she,
speaking?
she was
So what
speaking
was
in
she
tongues.
speaking?
It's what they do in some churches where they speak.
Mm,
It's like a language that is nondescript, and it's
right.
just literally a spiritual connection, and it's like
Mm.
it's no language, but it's yeah. They call it
And
tongues. Yeah.
yeah, and then like, you know, she's getting the power,
Hmm.
and she basically casts the evil out and everything like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, so in that regards, it's that kind of arc that you get in these possession movies. It's the kind of the beforehand, the
Mm,
taking over of the bodies, and then the
mm,
kind of the conclusion of that whole thing. And you know what? I thought the scenes at the end of the movie where we actually see the demon
mm.
and it turning into Glenn Close. Oh my gosh, I thought
I
that
know,
was
yeah,
nasty.
I know, yeah. It was the effects and makeup look good. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. It just like I was like, damn, that looks. Even she looked evil. Glenn Close when
She
she
looked
turned.
evil.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I thought and it made for me anyway, it made for this kind of interesting movie. And
Mm.
I found I enjoyed this movie better than the Exorcist movie, if I'm being totally honest.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Definitely. That one was a big letdown. Expectation maybe might have been higher,
Yeah.
whereas this one expectation wasn't so high. But still, I think this one. Don't get me wrong. It's not like a great, kind of, like
Exactly.
Hereditary level. No,
Yeah, no.
but it's enjoyable enough. Netflix movie. I think it's enjoyable enough, and there's many elements that people can relate to.
Yeah.
With the family and stuff like that, and maybe if you got kids and whatever, and things are difficult. So yeah, it's an interesting one. It's an interesting
Mm,
one. This one,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Lee
I'd say,
Daniels.
yeah, Lee Daniels, right? What's he done? He's done other
Oh,
big.
he's done a lot. What hasn't he done? He's
Yeah.
done movies, TV shows. Monique was
Yeah.
in is it Precious? Yeah, she was in
Yes,
Precious. That
Precious.
Oscar.
She
I
played the
think that's
mum.
exactly Oscar nominated. The Butler as well.
Mm,
A whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, he's very very well known in Hollywood.
yeah. And
Mm.
then at the end of the movie, you kind of see the kind of the writing, like, you know, they kind of tell you a bit about kind of the real person inspired by.
Mm.
So there's a whole story out there. You'll have to go out there and check it
Mm.
out and everything. But
Yes.
as circling back to what Deval said, you know, there's these elements in the universe we don't know about,
Don't mess with
and
it.
don't
Mm.
mess with it. So, you know, it's out there
Weird.
anyway. So go check it out. It's called The Deliverance. It's out on
Mm.
Netflix. And if you do watch it, let us know. Now, Deval, have we got time?
Yeah,
Have
I
we
think
got
so.
time?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I'm going to literally spend 2 or 3 minutes on this one. This is a new movie on Apple Plus. And you know what, Devout? I hardly watch any movies. I'll watch the TV shows on Apple Plus. Hardly watch any of the movies. But this one is called The Instigators. It stars Matt Damon. It stars Casey Affleck. Written by Casey Affleck. Produced by Ben Affleck. And set in Boston. And you kind of got that kind of connection, right? Because those guys, they're from Boston, and all that sort of stuff. And if you can get past the absurdity of it, if you can get past the kind of like, in no way in hell would this ever kind of happen in real life. It's a comedy caper, it's a crime caper, it's a bank job. Well, not really a bank job. It's a robbery gone wrong, and it's the kind of the aftermath of this robbery gone wrong and what happens with these two guys. So long story short, Matt Damon, he was an ex-army, ex-Marine. He sees a psychiatrist for issues. He needs to kind of make it right with his family. And he needs $32,000. There's a job that gets put together. He's on the job. Casey Affleck's on the job, and another person on the job. And the job is they're going to go into the mayor's office. They're going to rob a safe because the safe has got a lot of money in there. And then they're going to come out of there. And Matt Damon, his thing is he only needs $32,000. He gets the $32,000 because he needs to pay child support. He needs to pay for the mortgage. He needs to pay rent, and he needs to kind of sort his life out. That's all he wants. He doesn't want anything extra. If he gets extra, he'll give it back to the people who are organizing the job. And at the beginning of the movie, they plan it. They say, look, at this time we're going to do this, and this time we're going to do this, and this time we're going to do all this, and get it all in there. On the day of the job, nothing is planned. Nothing, what they planned doesn't work out. And the job goes horribly wrong. Someone gets shot and blah, blah, blah. So then they're on the run. And they're on the run, right, Deval? And this is where you have to park your brain at the door, because nothing, if in real life, this would not happen. The way that the police chase them, the way that they get away, and the way that they then decide they're going to go back and rob the mayor again, and all this sort of stuff goes on. And you're like, okay, this would never happen. But if you can forget all of that, it's the chemistry between those two. It's fun. It's interesting. They crack a few jokes. Casey Affleck is funny. He's kind of he's got a kind of bit of a dry sense of humor. And Matt Damon, he's kind of, it reminds you of a bit like Ocean's 11, where they kind of plan all this sort of stuff. And there's a scene in the movie. I just want to quickly mention this. There's a scene in the movie where Matt Damon's behind the car, and he's got to get away from the police. And if you watch this scene, straight away, Bourne. And the thing is, Deval, this is directed by the director of the first Bourne movie.
What? But the Paul Greengrass?
No, Doug Liman, the first one.
Oh, okay. Is it?
So what I think is they've kind of like a bit of a callback to Bourne Ultimatum.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, he's in a BMW, he's tearing down the road, and he's doing the turns, and you see the cars coming from the side, and the passengers are going crazy, and there's all sorts of stuff, and it's Matt Damon doing Bourne again. And I think that was on purpose. So when you watch it, trust me, you'll see that scene and you'll think, this is Bourne. This is Bourne.
I need to watch more stuff on Apple. Apple, I don't know what it is. No disrespect to Apple. I just don't go there as much as I should.
Me too. Like, people are talking about this new Jake Gyllenhaal TV show. And it's supposed to be good as well. And so anyway, so here's my sum up. It's like I said before, leave your brain at the door. Just go with the flow with this one. Chase scenes, shootouts, comedy. And then in the end, it's wrapped up in a nice little bow. And then that's it. Everyone goes on their merry way. End of story. So there you have it. If you got, and here's the thing, it went on to Apple Plus. No way would this have gone, like, it's not good enough to be on a cinema.
I would say it.
Man,
Serious.
I'm telling you, because it just, I
No
just don't
way.
think, I just don't think this movie was a cinema movie. It is a Friday streaming
Mm,
movie, but
okay,
it's
okay.
decent. It's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
just for
yeah,
Friday night, like
yeah.
type of a thing, you know, for people paying like £10, 15 or
Mm,
whatever, how many dollars it is in America, whatever. No, I don't think so. That's why I think it was a streaming release.
mm.
Do
Okay.
you get me? I reckon they probably saw it and thought, is this good enough to be on cinema against, flipping what was out in cinema just
Well,
recently?
there's Deadpool Wolverine still. There's It Ends With Us still. There's Blink Twice. That came out.
Yeah,
There's a few, and then there's more to come out as well. Beetlejuice is coming out
yeah,
soon, but yeah, for the past few weeks, it has been pretty much Deadpool, to be honest.
exactly. And I
Mm,
reckon the people at Apple Plus, they must have said, give us a movie with some named actors, Matt Damon, pretty big,
mm, mm.
produced by Ben Affleck. Let us put something out on streaming so that it keeps people still paying the subscription.
Yes, yeah, 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 yeah,
And this is
yeah,
exactly what that is.
yeah,
So
yeah.
there you have it, folks. Go check it out. If you've got an Apple Plus subscription, use it, watch it on a Friday night. Don't go
Mm,
out of your way, but I think it's a bit of fun, basically.
mm. Okay, all right, all right, all right.
All right.
Might have to get involved in that.
Yeah. So out of the two, watch the Deliverance first, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Okay. And that's it, Deval, unless you got something else for us.
No, that's it from me. What's so next? We got Beetlejuice coming out next
Yes.
week, I think.
We've got Beetlejuice and we've got Rebel Ridge.
Rebel Ridge. Oh, that's going to be decent. That's like
Yes.
a sort of Jack Reacher
Yeah.
type show, so that should be decent.
That's
Actually,
coming
I
out
think.
on Friday, which we'll watch and then we can review when we meet up again.
Hmm. Ooh, what's
Yeah.
this? What's this I hear? Is there a film about Rosemary's Baby?
Oh, gosh.
Oh no, it's not. No, I got mixed up. Okay,
All right. Okay.
forget that.
And another one that we might, if we might want to check out is The Killer.
The Killer. What's that?
It's John Woo has remade his Hong Kong movie called The Killer,
Is
and it's on
it?
Netflix.
Ah.
So that's just come out as well recently as well. So back in the 90s, yeah, John Woo, he made this Hong Kong
Mm,
movie, really classic, in Chow Yun Fat. It's called The Killer, and he's now remade it, changed a few things, set in America, still directed by John Woo,
mm,
and it's about this assassin and everything. So yeah, man, we've got to try and check that one out as well if we can.
okay. All right. We've got some work
All
to
right,
do, innit?
we got work to do, man. All right, so
Mm-hmm.
listen, keep it locked with the Flixters, folks. We'll see you on the next